Hello everyone, welcome to Flow and Restore Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. So for this practice, you may want to have any props you might use for vinyasa flow, like a couple of yoga blocks, a strap, and a blanket. And for the second half, which is restorative and yin yoga, you may want to have extra pillows and blankets. The more props that you have around that you can reach for, the more options you have to place your body in comfortable positions. All right, let's begin in a comfortable seat or child's pose. You choose. What is your body, mind asking for to begin in? And I'd like to open up with a quote from the book Wheels of Life, and it's actually a quote by George Leonard on resonance. And he says, at the heart of each of us, whatever our imperfections, there exists a silent pulse of perfect rhythm, a complex of waveforms and resonances, which is absolutely individual and unique, and yet which connects us to everything in the universe. The act of getting in touch with this pulse can transform our personal experience and in some way alter the world around us. So he's a big researcher on sound, which will be the subject of our meditation today, or the object of our meditation today. I've been recently working with a sound therapist. As you know, I've been using these crystal singing bowls in our Shavasana. And her name is Andrea Cortez of Mind Body Music Center in Austin, Texas. And she defines sound meditation, which will be our later practice after the physical, as a practice of listening deeply with focused awareness on the internal experience of sound. The practice of sound meditation is therapeutic, she says, for the listener, with the use of resonant instruments like singing bowls, gong, flutes, voice, and stringed instruments. Everything in the living world has a resonant frequency. When we use an outside stimulus of a musical instrument, it can impact the resonance of our physical body and energetic body. We use mantra meditation, in which we practice chanting repeatedly. And even when the chant is in a different language like Sanskrit than our primary language, it can be so impactful because we are all made of vibration, right? Even our various organs, as they study in Chinese medicine, vibrate differently. They vibrate differently when they're healthy. They vibrate differently when they're unhealthy. And so she says, Andrea says, things that can dampen our resonance are believed to be stress, mental stress, illness, negative thinking patterns, and conditions of our environments. So I want to bring in to this talk to set the tone for our yoga practice and highlight one of the 8 limbs of yoga practices. We've talked about it before. It's called Brahmacharya. And Brahmacharya can be defined as our ability to harness, contain, and spend energy wisely so that it is in alignment with our ability to connect with the divine within each of us, the divine that we're all a part of, the divine within all of life. And Summer Cushman is a writer on yoga philosophy, and she invites us to think about the ways in our daily life that we either nourish or deplete our own energy on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So things to consider is exercise, the amount, the quality, food, what we take in through nourishment, sleep, quality and quantity, pranayama, breathing practices, which we'll use in today's practice, quiet time, screen time, and mantra, meditation, work and play, prayer, connecting to nature. So there are so many stimuli going at any given moment, and we're constantly filtering through our sense perceptions, what we're taking in, and even in the subconscious mind. So in the practice today physically, I invite you to open your awareness and tune in to not only what's more predominant in sound and sensation and thoughts, but also to the subtler ways that you're taking in stimuli, the subtler ways that you are nourishing, depleting, or uplifting your own energetic state in that practice of awareness. So let's begin now to deepen the breath right where you are, inhaling a little slower. And then feel free to make any sound as you empty the breath. Inhaling maybe a little slower. Perhaps this time you pause at the top of the inhale and feel that fullness. And then again, any sound, let it go through the mouth. Maybe pause at the bottom and feel that emptiness. And then try that one more time, beginning to sustain your breath equally, both in and out. And so we begin our vinyasa flow practice by establishing a rhythmic, mindful breathing pattern through the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breathing technique. And we do so by closing the lips, breathing evenly in and out through the nose, while softly narrowing the back of the throat so that you can tune into a very subtle whispering sound that allows your mind to connect to your body, to connect to the present moment. See if you can keep that rhythmic sound going, that soft whisper of your own breath. And let's begin to crawl onto our hands and knees, all fours, allowing the spine to move to the breath. In cat-cow, inhale, glide your chest forward and coil it up, dropping the shoulders back. Exhale, lift the belly, drop your head and round your back. A few more times. Inhale, draw your heart forward, soften the shoulders down as you look up. Exhale, curl in the belly, tuck the tailbone and round your back. Let's take maybe another 3 or 4 breaths on your own of Virasana, which is Sanskrit for cat-cow pose. And as you exhale next, tucking your toes with feet hips distance apart, lift your hips high and back, entering downward facing dog. Allow the first few breaths there to explore any kind of movement that you need to loosen up your body. You might pedal your feet slowly in place, warming up the backs of your legs. You might softly shake and nod your head to relax your neck as you lift the shoulder blades and spread them across your back ribs. Feel your hands here really ground through finger spread as you point the index fingers forward or very slightly turn them out to help broaden across the shoulders. And as you look towards your feet, see that they are parallel to each other. Feel free to bend your knees any amount you might need so that you can truly lift your sitting bones as high and far back as you can. Sinking your heels closer to the ground, breath by breath, as you firm the top fronts of your thighs back. And now let's let the body be still as we pay attention to the breath, that subtle sound for 3 cycles. Bending your knees, look past your fingertips. And on your next exhale, walk up to the front of your mat to stand in a forward fold with feet still hips distance apart, parallel. And then bend your knees generously there. Use your hands behind your back to clasp or hold a strap between them to open up the front of your shoulders as you lean your weight forward towards the front of your heels. Let your spine completely unwind. It may mean bending the knees even deeper. It may mean swaying your spine or softly shaking and nodding your head some more. Let's take about 4 more deep breaths here in this forward fold. Uttanasana. Then pressing your fingertips onto your legs or the ground ahead of you. Inhale, draw your heart through your upper arms, looking towards the tip of your nose. Exhale, fold in. Pressing firmly through your feet, inhale, sweep your arms forward. And as you rise, coil your chest up, draw your tailbone towards the ground between your heels. Exhale, let your palms meet at your heart. Option to step your feet together to touch here. Pausing a moment, call to mind something that you feel gratitude for. I invite you to clarify your intention for your practice today. What are you creating through your thoughts, movement, way of breathing, presence? And perhaps offer your practice as well to someone you care about or a cause you care about. Together, let's take one chant of Om, take a deep breath in. Beginning Sun Salutation C. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms face forward. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and overhead. Gently coil your chest up. Look up. Exhale, dive into a forward fold. Hands beside your feet on blocks or the ground. Inhale, step the left knee back to a kneeling lunge and look up. Exhale from hands and knees on the floor. Glide forward to lower your chest and chin. Look forward and slide to the ground. Inhale, softly roll the shoulders back in a baby cobra. Exhale, press up, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Lower your back knee and look up. Exhale, step your right foot beside the left and bow. Press through your feet, inhale, sweep your arms forward and coil your chest up. Exhale, join your hands to meet at your heart. Side 2, inhale, sweep the arms forward, gentle standing back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your right knee back, look up, kneeling lunge. Exhale from hands and knees, glide forward, lower your chest and chin, slide forward to the ground. Inhale, cobra pose, open the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb, lower your back knee and look up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Root down as you inhale the arms forward, standing back bend. Exhale, trace your thumbs down your center. We're gonna take 2 more of these Surya Namaskar Cs. Listen to your breath. Inhale, arms overhead, coil the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left knee steps back, look up. Exhale, hands and knees down, lower chest and chin, slither to the ground. Inhale, coil the chest in cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot beside left thumb, lower your back knee and look up. Exhale, step the right foot forward and bow. Inhale, arms forward, standing back bend. Exhale, together at your heart. Last one, deep breath, sweep the arms up. Long exhale, bow forward. Deep inhale, step right knee back, look up. Exhale from hands and knees, glide forward, lower chin, chest, belly. Inhale, cobra pose, coil the chest. Exhale, downward dog, lift the hips. Deep inhale, right foot steps forward, back knee down, look up. Exhale, left foot steps forward, bow. Inhale, standing back bend. Exhale to gather at your heart. Let's take 2 slow breaths here. Notice what's present in your mind body. Moving into Sun Salutation B. We're gonna go ahead and flow 1 breath each movement. So listen carefully and sustain your breath mindfully. Let your feet come together to touch. Bend your knees together to touch. Inhale, sit back towards your heels, arms up, chair pose. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, press the ground of your legs, lengthen forward. Step into plank with legs straight or knees on the ground. Continue your exhale, gliding forward, grazing your elbows by your side ribs in Chaturanga. Lower all the way for Cobra or flip your toes and inhale to Upward Dog. Exhale, draw the belly in to lift the pelvis back, Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, raise your right leg from the inseam behind you. Exhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. So with feet hips width apart, spin the back heel down. Face forward, inhale, rise slowly into Warrior One, arms up. Ride your exhale down into Chaturanga. Either take a vinyasa or a round of cat-cow pose on your hands and knees. Coming back to Downward Facing Dog. Inhale, raise your left leg slowly from the inseam. Exhale, step your left foot softly beside left thumb with feet hips width apart, spin the back heel down. Inhale, rise up slowly to Warrior One. Take the exhale down into your choice of vinyasa, cat-cow, or straight to Downward Dog. As you remember, this is your practice. Take whatever variations and moments of rest or added mindful intensity you need to truthfully align with your intention. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Next, inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Empty your breath, then walk or float to the top. With feet touching, inhale, rise forward, lifting your chest. Exhale, fold. With knees touching, inhale, sit back into chair pose. Exhale, rise up to stand. Let's take 2 more rounds of this Sun Salutation B. Inhale, back to chair pose. Exhale, lean forward to fold. Inhale, rise forward, lifting your heart. Step into plank or float into Chaturanga. Insert your version of your vinyasa here, or none at all. And at your pace, when you arrive at Downward Dog, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale the foot forward, spin the back heel down. Inhale, rise to Virasana 1, Warrior One. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa of choice. Breathing in, breathing out to Downward Dog. Side 2. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale the foot forward, spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise to Warrior One. Exhale into your vinyasa. Downward Dog. Let's take 3 to 5 breaths. Slowing down your breathing, inviting a sense of spaciousness, not only in your breath. Notice what you notice here. What kinds of stimuli are you taking in? Even to the most subtle levels. On your next inhale, bend your knees, look forward, empty your breath, then walk or float to the top. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Together, knees together. Inhale, sit low, chair pose. Exhale, rise up, mountain pose. Last round of Surya Namaskar B. Here we go. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, back into your vinyasa. Without rushing, move to your breath. And when you arrive at Adho Mukha Svanasana, inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale it forward. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower, vinyasa. When you get there, side 2, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale into your vinyasa. Let's take 3 to 5 breaths in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Then bending your knees. Inhale, look forward. Empty your breath, walk or float to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold feet together, knees together. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise to Tadasana. Let's step the left foot slowly as far as you can to the rear of your mat, spinning the heel down. Prepare for Warrior 2 by aligning your right heel to the arch of your left foot. Turn your chest to face your left wall so that as you spread your arms wide apart, your wrists pretty much stack above your ankles. Feel your right outer hip hug in towards you as the top of your left thigh bone hugs in towards you. Now let's take another 4 breaths, steadying your gaze just past the right hand. Nice, flip your right palm to face up. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Sweep the right arm towards the back wall. Exhale, please step into plank pose, top of a push-up. Plank pose without seesawing or wavering your left and right hips as much as you can. Lift the navel in, hug the outer hips towards your midline. Slowly lower onto your forearms into forearm plank pose. So elbows to the ground, right under the shoulders, draw your heart forward, breathe, firm your inner heels back. Dolphin pose with the option to interlace the fingers and create a triangular base out of your forearms. Walk your toes forward, lifting your pelvis and press your chest back towards your thighs. Let's take 5 breaths and we'll meet in downward facing dog. When you're ready to get there, you might bring the knees down or you might come back up to your hands, downward facing dog. We're gonna enter side 2 of Warrior 2 differently. So from here, inhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Spin your right heel down, align your front heel to the arch of your back foot. Then inhale to cartwheel your arms and rise. So hugging your left outer hip in, firm the top of your right thigh bone back. Arms wide open with a tall, spacious spine. And steady your eyes on one spot just past your left hand And let's feel into 4 more deep breaths. Keep your left knee bent and flip the left palm to face up. Sweep it overhead towards the back of the room. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, let's meet again in plank pose, top of a push-up. This time from plank, very slowly, make your way through Chaturanga Dandasana and all the way to the ground. Reach your arms down by your sides as you point your toes back, preparing for locust pose with an optional transition into bow pose, 2 active back bends. Start by resting your forehead on the ground, palms are face down beside your thighs. Scoot your knees as close together as you can and press your pubic bone down into the floor. Spiral your inner thighs slightly towards the ceiling to broaden your sacrum. Counterbalance that with elongating your tailbone towards your inner heels to lengthen your lower back. Continue those 2 actions, and on your next inhale, press your heels back and coil your chest up, lifting your arms and everything you can. Looking slightly down, take another 4 deep breaths. You could either rest after this or add in 5 more breaths in bow pose. To get to bow, keep your knees no wider than hips distance apart and bend them. With your hands, catch your outer feet and kick your legs towards straight while pulling your feet towards your glutes and coiling your chest open. Perhaps take another 5 breaths before you come down to rest. And when you've lowered to rest, please slide into child's pose with your arms extended forward. Hips sinking down to your heels, knees together or apart. Let's take about 5 deep breaths here. And now from child's pose, please walk your hands over to the right, maybe reaching them both outside of your mat for a lateral extension of your spine, a side bend. And then crawling your hands through center, reach over to the left. Opening your right side body. And so now we enter the yin, restorative part of our flow and restore practice. As you come back through center, plant your hands beside your knees and roll your spine slowly upright to sit. Let's bring your pillow down the center line of your mat towards the front of your mat like this. And then have a seat at the center of your mat with your right hip flush against the back edge of that pillow. We're going to prepare for a restorative spinal twist. So begin by extending both of your legs towards your left wall. Leave your right leg there, then slide your left leg down towards the rear of your mat, down the midline of it. Now you have an L shape of your legs. Place your left and right hands along the left and right sides of the pillow and turn your chest completely to face the front of your mat, adjusting from your pelvis down your legs as you need so that you can comfortably and completely do this. It might require slightly shifting the right hip back, bending the knees. And now for some of you, maybe sitting upright like this is plenty of a spinal twist. anybody's pregnant, don't go any deeper into your twist. You don't want to use any leverage. You want to keep the abdominal area light, not compressed. Otherwise, you could start to lower your belly onto the pillow, and if it feels like the pillow is way too far away, you could elevate the part of your pillow closest to the front edge of your mat, so it's more of an incline. You could lower your forehead, maybe place a folded blanket under your forehead so that you can lie face down, or you could turn your head to one side and take note of which side you're turning your head. And then I'm going to watch the clock for another 3 minutes here. Take a moment to mentally scan your body in the position that it's in. Notice if there are any areas of tension right now in which you're trying to hold yourself up or muscles are being contracted. How might you support your body so that there's as little to no effort needed to be in this posture? Relax your shoulders and offer space throughout your neck. Relax your facial muscles, feel your eyes, the muscles behind them soften. Feel your jaw unclench. Relax your scalp, your forehead. And then slowly breathe in. Where can you invite the breath into your body so that it offers space and ease? Exhale slowly and gently. Continuing your mindful breathing here. We have another 1.5 minutes left. Last couple of breaths here. And as you feel ready, gently begin to lift your head, your torso. Keep your props right where they are as you turn to face the rear of your mat, sitting tall with legs both straight out in front of you. Allow a few breaths here to feel your spine release from that twist. Noticing not only your physical, but your energetic state. Let's take a deep inhale as you sit up a little bit taller with the shoulders relaxed. Slowly through the mouth, exhale. Now keep your right leg where it is and slide your left leg to your left so that your left foot is pointing towards your right wall. And your left outer hip is flush against the rear edge of your pillow. Place your hands to frame the left and right sides of the pillow. Adjust your pelvis, legs, and feet as you might need so that you can completely turn your chest to face the front of your mat and feel at ease. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you start to lower, taking your time. We'll be on this side another 3 minutes. And so remember, if you turned your head to one side on the first position of this pose, turn your head to the opposite side to balance off your neck. And as you're landing in stillness, notice whatever sensations are here on this side in this pose. Notice what your body is asking for. Might be similar, might be different than the first side. Sense the quality of your breathing as you're getting into this shape in your body, and let that inform you of any adjustments you might need to make. When we notice that the breath is struggling or chaotic, it's a good indicator that maybe there needs to be more props supporting the body, more space created for the breath passageway. Now, where might you choose to land your awareness for the remainder of this pose? To truly be here, right now, where you're practicing yoga. Feel your slow, gentle breaths expanding and releasing. Couple last breaths in this position. And take your time, slowly rising up, extending both legs out in front of you as you sit tall in stick pose or Dandasana. Let your spine unravel from the twist and notice the effect of that posture. So next we're going to move into a hip opening, external rotation of the thighs at the hips posture of your choice. Option 1 of 2 is to keep the pillow where it is and face it as you bring the soles of your feet to hug the left and right sides of the pillow. You can have the pillow really up against your pelvis. You can have the pillow further away from your pelvis, which means you're going to fold in more deeply. You can raise the pillow so that it's a higher incline like this, so that it meets you and you don't have to fold in as much. So here's one option. This is called bound angle pose. Another option, if you're feeling pretty open in your hips, especially in your thighs, and you want to go a bit deeper into sensation there, is frog pose. Frog pose, you'll want to use your mat sideways so that you're able to splay your knees wide apart. And you might begin in a wider version of child's pose, facing the wide width of your mat. And then consciously turn out your thighs from the hips and let your knees and toes follow. So they're turned out in the same capacity. And then bending your knees at 90-degree angles so that your pelvis is in line with your knees and your ankles are in line with your knees. And from here, you simply wait and breathe. At least for me, I simply wait and breathe. Not simply, but you can come down onto your forearms. You can rest them on blocks or on the floor. So take your choice of bound angle pose, sitting and folding forward, or frog pose. And I'm going to watch the clock for 3 minutes. Now, as you're coming into a position of stillness, again, take a mental scan of your body. Feel into the energy of different parts of your body. You know where you tend to tense up. Maybe look there first. Is there any part that you might be able to soften and relax, maybe through more support from props, or maybe through awareness and breath, or combination? And postures that might challenge flexibility. There's a great opportunity to practice a parigraha, letting go, non-attaching, surrendering. Maybe draw in that surrendering quality through your breaths, taking cleansing, gentle exhales. And we're down to maybe another 3 or 4 breaths in this posture. Take your time to experience the very end of it. And take your time to mindfully transition out. So if you're forward folding, you can start to rise up, maybe extend the legs. If you're in frog pose, slide back into child's pose, bringing the inner edges of your feet together, and perhaps the knees a little wider than hips distance as you sink your pelvis down to your heels and rest your forehead down. And then in that posture you come into next, take another 5 breaths and observe. Observe what you've taken in through this asana. Observe what you've let go of through this asana. And let's slowly meet sitting upright again. So I'm going to invite you to sit on your shins in some form of hero's pose, Virasana. So you might be comfortable sitting directly on your calves like this. Make sure that your toes are pointed back. Your feet are not turned out. or might be more comfortable to prop your pelvis up on a block or two, placing that block right in between your ankles, which allows your knees to bend a little less. The higher the prop you're sitting on, the less your knees need to bend. Some of you, if you're already sitting directly on your calves, might gently roll the calves aside with your hands and sit all the way down to the floor. See that your knees are not splaying wider than your hips distance. And then we're going to set up behind us either an incline with your pillow to lie back on, like a reclining chair, opening the chest subtly, or two yoga blocks, one at the tallest height for the back of your head and one at the medium height going across the mat, so that the lower block catches the area of your back that is right beneath your shoulder blades. Now, some of you might not find leaning back an option today, and that's fine. You could stay upright and bring your hands behind you, coil the chest open, hug the belly in, and open your chest like this. So whatever position you're opening up, the fronts of your thighs, the fronts of your hips, the front of your torso, the fronts of your shoulders with, we're going to be here for about 2 minutes. Especially as we're opening the chest, invite your breath to expand there. Feel your collarbones gently expand from sternum to the edges of your shoulders. If you're leaning back, feel that your tailbone is lengthening forward towards the space between your knees. It's the same action of lifting your frontal hip bone slightly towards your lowest front ribs. And this is to prevent overarching your lower back. Got another minute here. And now we're going to slowly ease out of the position that you're in. Take your time. Feel your breath. Take several breaths as you're slowly rising if you're leaning back. Gradually extend your legs out in front of you. And perhaps offer the backs of your knees some support with two blocks or a pillow across your mat. And as you're sitting with legs extended forward, let the feet splay out wider apart than hips distance. Maybe a gentle shake or rolling the thighs inward and outward a few times. And then as you start to lie back towards your final resting pose, notice if you might want a pillow or a folded blanket under your head or blanket over your body or your eyes. Take what you need to set up comfortably so that you can relax in stillness. And as you're beginning to position your body, notice if there's anything that could be adjusted so that you can feel a sense of symmetry between the left and right hemispheres of your body. Notice your two shoulders, roll them back and down. Maybe turn the palms to face up, slightly away from your sides. Notice your two hips as you soften your glutes and belly. And then as you're closing your eyes, I'd like you to visualize, we're going to begin 3-part breathing here before we rest completely in Shavasana. Durga Pranayama. I'd like you to visualize your torso from your neck, all around the front and back and sides, cross sections of the body, all the way down to the base of your spine and your pelvic floor. We'll divide your torso into 3 cross sections. The first is the lowest part of your torso. That's your lower belly, your lower back. Take a moment and visualize as you breathe into the lowest part of your torso. Hold your breath for a few seconds. And then exhale slowly, feeling the lower belly, lower back soften. Now visualize the mid cross section of your torso, which is the largest part of your rib cage, the side ribs especially, the back and front ribs. Inhale into the middle of your torso. Hold your breath in and relax, feeling that expansion. And then exhale slowly. Feel the softening of the muscles between your ribs. Now visualize the uppermost part of your torso, which is your chest, your armpits, your upper back, your neck and shoulders. Breathe into that area. Continue to relax your shoulders and neck. Hold your breath in for a few seconds. And then just as slowly as the inhale, empty the breath. Hold your breath out for a few seconds. And now 3-part breathing goes like this. We'll inhale 1/3 into the low part of the torso. We'll pause. We'll inhale another 1/3 into the middle part of the torso and pause. And then we'll inhale the last 1/3 into the uppermost part of your torso and hold the breath while relaxing for a few seconds. Then we'll exhale everything out through all 3 parts and hold the breath out for a few seconds. That's 1 cycle. Let's try 3 cycles together and then 2 cycles on your own. So empty this breath, hold it out to prepare. Lowest part of your torso, inhale 1/3, pause. Mid torso, inhale 1/3, pause. Uppermost torso, inhale last 1/3. Hold the breath, relax the body. Slowly empty all of your breath from all 3 parts. Hold it out, continue to relax. Second cycle, inhale 1/3. Pause, inhale 1/3 mid-torso. Pause, inhale 1/3 uppermost. Hold. Slowly empty everything. Hold at the bottom. Last cycle together. Inhale 1/3, lowest part. Pause. Inhale mid part. Pause. Inhale uppermost part. Hold. Exhale slowly and completely. Hold your breath out. I invite you to practice 2 more cycles of Durga Pranayama on your own. Taking your time when you've finished the second round on your own. Relax where you are, let go of controlling your breathing, and sense any effect of that breathing practice, that pranayama. And so we now transition into Shavasana, corpse pose, for a few minutes before our sound meditation. Right where you are. Before we begin our sound meditation, I invite you to choose your body's position, whether you stay lying down in corpse pose or you gradually and mindfully transition into a comfortable seat. So coming into your position or staying in your position for meditation, begin by establishing a feeling of groundedness. Literally, notice the parts of your physical body that are supported by the surface below, that are in direct contact with it. Feel your weight evenly distributing throughout onto that surface. Feel the rest of your body at ease, spacious, and calm. And now we begin our sound meditation. I invite you to notice with an attitude of caring, non-judgmental curiosity. Any sound that comes to your awareness, sounds that are nearby, lingering sounds, sounds that fade away, abrupt sounds, all with a non-judgmental, open awareness. Releasing any need to follow a sound and cling to it. Releasing any need to narrate the story behind a sound. And releasing the need to push away a sound. As you witness sounds that are also far away, observe your capacity to be the neutral witness of what comes and goes. As you continue to rest in stillness, I invite you to observe your physical state. Notice how your body feels. And more subtly, sense your energetic state. And perhaps even more subtly, sense your mental and emotional state. These various layers or koshas, layers of self. And observe the effects of your yoga practice on them. If you'd like to rest longer, if you're lying down, feel free if you have the time. Otherwise, gently begin to move your body and gently and gradually rise into a comfortable seat. Perhaps joining your palms to meet at your heart as you lift your heart and bow in to greet your inner teacher. Remember whom you've dedicated your practice to today. And remember what you chose to focus on cultivating, the intention that you set. And how might you bring the practice of Brahmacharya off the yoga mat and into your daily living practice of yoga? Being mindful of how you harness, contain, and spend your energy so that you're in alignment with the divine. Let's close the practice with one chant of Om. Empty this breath. Take a deep in breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.